Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk today a little bit about an exciting program I have coming up. I'm laughing because little behind the scenes here, sometimes to get myself in the mood to come talk to a camera. I mean, it's all of you, but in reality, right now, it's just a lens that is staring at me and whatever. But I may occasionally sing some 70s music or some yacht rock or something to get myself going. So I was laughing at my version of what I was singing. Anyway, hi, welcome. I want to talk about the Enlightened Path. Despite my spazziness in the introduction here, I am really excited to bring this program to you because here's the thing. I had a plan for 2023. I was going to make a lot of online courses, and I'm one to kind of pile a lot on my plate and then sort through it after. And so I had maybe 10 or 12 courses in mind, and I thought, I need to pare that down a little bit so I can realistically do it and get them out and get them in the online space where I have my courses and all of that, and do it at a comfortable pace. And so I had everything bucketed out and slotted and scheduled, and it felt really great. And my team of guides we're like, hey, you know what? We got one more for you. And you weren't even planning it. It's not a topic that you even had on your radar, but it's something that is really impactful and important right now for people in your community. So, okay. So I made room for one more. And what I have found recently, or rediscovered recently, is that I really, really, really enjoy connecting with small groups of classes online, like in a Zoom class or whatever. But having that interaction is something I really enjoy. So I wanted to build it with that in mind. So I sat on it. I sketched it out for a little in my mind. I worked with my team to say, are you sure this is how's it going to go and all of that? So we co-created for you this 16-week program where there's 4 different modules. We're going to meet for 3 weeks out of each of the 4 and take 1 week off. So it's 16 weeks in total, but 12 classes online. But there's also weekly information in each module in an online classroom for you. So there's more videos in there. There's some audio files. There will be PDFs for you to download. There will be soul work, which is my version of homework for you to do to help you move through the content together. So it starts June 21st, but I wanted to come talk about it a little bit here. I'm talking about it in some of the interviews that I do, but I wanted to have just a standalone place for you to get some information on it as well. So basically, it's starting with the thought that movement builds momentum. And this isn't like a yoga or a Pilates class, not that kind of movement, but taking action on what we're learning. There are so many of us who are absolutely passionate about all this stuff we're learning esoterically and the ethereal realms and galactic information and star seeds and intuition and energy healing and all of those things that are lighting us up. But we're kind of like floating heads, just walking around with all this information, going, wow, well, now I know all these things. Okay, now what? What do I do with it? And our goal as humans, our job is to integrate that beautiful stuff and bring it in and plant it on the planet, plant it in our own lives, plant it in our own communities. So the Enlightened Path is going to help us take that and embody it, integrate it, learn how to walk forward purposefully and with passion with that information. So I'm reading some of the notes that I had when I was receiving the transmissions for these classes, and it was definitely movement builds momentum. And we don't lift off into the future of our dreams without taking steps toward that future, right? Like that's the thing. We think, oh, it's going to be so great. And we're focused on the when. When is something going to happen, or when the moment's right, then I'll do something. You create the when by doing. So we've got to move from the learning to the doing, or the learning to the inhabiting with integration and embodiment. What else is in my notes? These are always fun. I don't know if you guys use your notes app, but I definitely do. And I pop stuff in here all the time when I'm getting downloads from my guides and it's maybe 3 a.m. and I don't want to go find a pen and a notebook. So the program is to catalyze you to an intimate knowledge of self, setting you up for new earth service. So if you're someone who feels called to a soul-aligned business or a soul-aligned service, this is a great place to start finding those building blocks for yourself on stepping into that future. But you don't have to have that in mind. This is for anyone at any point in their journey who just feels like things aren't sticking. They're not bringing things through in the right way. They aren't embodying, or they don't feel integrated with stuff. So let me show you on my website some more information about the class, and we'll talk through some of that. So it is stepping into the fullness of you and connecting with your most empowered self. That's really if you hear me on my YouTube videos, that's kind of part of my introduction, and it's been my mission statement for years. I'm on a mission to empower and embolden others to connect with their divine radiant light. We all have the little pilot light that gets us started, and some of ours have gone out. I like to come in and get everything started so that you feel that you have everything you need to be your best self, whoever you need to be in the world. What can we do to get you there? How can I help you on your journey? So we say here, we know the world should change and needs to change, and that we need to change along with it, but sometimes the details of all those shifts can be a little fuzzy and we get overwhelmed, and that's okay. That's actually really I like to think of the overwhelm phase as someone who creates a lot. The overwhelm phase is like going into labor. It's something's happening and it's coming soon, but I can't do it yet. It's like that antsiness that gets started. So the overwhelm is actually not a bad thing. It's a sign that something is ready to be birthed. Just scrolling down, our souls are longing for us to walk in authenticity. But where do we start? And we start with the embodiment. So we're actually looking at, and this was the piece that came through most clearly at the beginning, and then I kind of teased the rest of the details out. We're here on planet Earth. We're here to work with her elements. That's part of who we are. That's part of how we embody. So how can we use the 4 main elements as a template or as building blocks for this embodiment and this integration? So when we look at the earth path, and we're going to have 4 paths, we're going to look at earth as an element, water as an element, air as an element, and fire as an element. And they're all kind of representing a certain piece on this journey of the enlightened path. So when we look at the earth path, it's really looking at what are we rooted in? What are our foundations? What did we inherit from families? What's tied to maybe past life or other origins? If you're into that sort of thing, I include a component of that as well. And then how can we rise up and climb into that purpose or that higher version of ourselves, that next level version of ourselves? So in the earth path, we're going to look at how to identify and overcome limiting beliefs. We all have them. I don't care what point of your life you're in, you're going to have them. You learn how to work through them. You learn how to minimize them. I was going to say silence them, maybe. Minimize them, optimize them, see what they're actually helping you with. How to identify and clear inherited ancestral energy templates. Soul themes. What are we here to learn, to do, to be, to overcome? Everybody has kind of your passport is stamped with what you think you're coming into this lifetime to do. So we're going to take a look at that. And then there's this really cool thing, process, inner landscapes and inner mapping. And we're going to do a bit of this. It's an exercise. We're going to do one aspect of this in each of the 4 paths. And so for the earth, we're looking at our mapping out and inner landscaping of security and abundance. For those who are into the past life thing, we look at specifically earth-based lives, or I guide you to look at your own earth-based lives that you've chosen and maybe the archetypes that you tend to come in and inhabit. And then we're going to look at the earth element within the energy body. What function does it serve? How do we optimize it? And then the earth element as it relates to intuition. Also, how do we optimize it? And how do we use it to improve our connection to our intuitive abilities? And I always say plus more because as I go through classes, I am often guided to co-create based on who is in the class. So just energetically, often I'm kind of picking up on things that the attendees need to hear, or a certain different way to present a topic or something else. I always stay open to something else dropping in from my team of guides as well. For the water path, we're looking at what are you carrying? If you think of like carrying buckets of water, what are you carrying that isn't yours? And water is really tied to emotions. So we're going to look at like, am I wearing other people's emotions? Are these even like mine? Or am I kind of in resonance with something that maybe I don't prefer to be in resonance with? And we can also look at cords here, energetic cords. So identifying and clearing current, past, or future energetic cords that are impacting you. We're going to take a look at the Enneagram as a tool for relationships. If anybody's hasn't worked with that yet, it's kind of a neat way to key into different personality traits. So I just want to expose you to it if you haven't already learned some of it, but specifically how it can help you unlock some things with your relationships. Inner landscapes and inner mapping. For this, we're looking at connection and creation. And then if you're into past lives, in the water module, we're going to look at who you've walked with or partnered with or been in relation with in those past lives. And I always leave the interpretation of past life to be past, concurrent, or future, because I don't really look just at them as the timeline being linear. And then the water element within the energy body, within intuition, and the plus more, whatever else drops in. For the air path, our third module, now we're looking at habits. Like, what are you doing every day? How are you showing up for yourself every day in a way that is helpful or maybe not so helpful? And really focusing and honing in on what you can do as best practices for yourself. And where might your inspiration be getting kind of stuck? So we're going to look at coherence, alignment, and resonance, and all those good things like frequency and stuff like that. Optimizing your daily habits to support an intuitive, purposeful, and joyful life. Because that's one of those things too. As we learn about intuition, it's one thing to feel it clicking in and feel like we're making a connection, but then how do you actually use it every day and trust that you can use it and trust the information you're getting? We're going to talk about that in this module. For our inner landscapes and inner mapping, we're going to talk about inspiration and clarity. And then the air element within the body, within intuition, and for those interested in the past, concurrent, or future life exploration, we're going to look at starseed galactic origins and / or the life between lives piece of past lives. So again, plus more, but wait, there's more. I feel like I'm doing that. And then in the last module, we're looking at the fire path, getting things going. Where is your passion? Where is your purpose? How do we ignite that? How do we stoke that glow within you and keep those fires going for you? So finding your authentic voice, the passion behind your purpose, how to find and relate those two, passion and purpose, together. And it doesn't have to be a career. It doesn't have to be a service-based option that you are offering to the world. This can just be, how do you show up for yourself, for your friends, your family, your community, your loved ones? How do you have that glow within yourself where you're like fully optimized and clicking in to every aspect of you? For our inner landscapes, we're going to look at imagination and action. Past life here, for those interested, we're going to look at lives of service, because I think anyone in my community, I'll just say this as a blanket statement, you guys are so absolutely stunningly amazing and beautiful and loving and generous. And without a doubt, I haven't, of course, I haven't explored past lives with all of you, but I have no doubt that there have been lives that you've lived in service to others in some way. So I want us to look at that. And when we look at that together, often it helps us remember, oh, that is who I'm supposed to be. Like that's the authentic me. I remember now. So sometimes turning over those rocks helps you remember, oh, I've been walking on like maybe the wrong path for a little bit and I want to recalibrate. We're going to alchemize all the other elements here in fire. They all come together, integrating in this last module. Catalyzing your authentic self into new earth service. Again, that doesn't have to mean a business with it, but it can. Moving past your limitations and objectives, and then the fire element in intuition, the fire element in the energy body, and anything else that drops in. So if that weren't enough, because remember, we're doing this live online classes 12 times. There's also so much online content. Those who have taken classes with me know that I like love to just give stuff in the in the online content, whether it's a PDF or it's a meditation or it's a visualization or it's another video where I'm talking you through something. Love it, love it, love it. So that will be there for you behind the scenes as like to support you as we're going through the live program piece as well. But then I'm also prompted to do something that I don't really do a lot of. I do it for certain friends in certain places, but I haven't really done it interactively in a community, and that is trance channeling. So not trans, T-R-A-N-S, but trance, T-R-A-N-C-E. Trance channeling. I channel all the time. Often when I'm talking on camera or creating these programs, I'm channeling information from my guides. But trance channeling is Heather, as you know her consciousness kicks out and allows other beings to use her physical body to communicate with you. So I'm going to offer a couple of pop-up trance channeling live online sessions where you can ask questions. Excuse me. They're already trying, isn't it funny? They come in and use my voice. So as I'm talking about it, my voice is now getting a little like raspy, but where you can ask questions of my guides, like I'm out, I'm off somewhere, having a nice little rest and a little restoration, and you can connect with my team of guides. So we're going to give that a whirl and give that a try. It's a lot of fun. And then we'll also likely have some just pop up random, hey, anybody want to jump on and have a chat to check in and see how we're doing? So there's going to be a lot of chances for us to interact together as a community, and it's going to be a really fun time. So if you feel called, I hope you'll join us. Depending on when you're watching this, there may still be a pretty great discount. The first 10 people to enroll get a nice discount, and you'll see that when you go look at the page on my website. Yeah, I guess that's it, you guys. I'm so excited and I can't wait for this to get started. It starts June 21st. And I know summer is a little questionable. Like, why would you run something in the summer? People go on vacation, the kids are out of school or whatever. But really, if you're looking at a block of 16 weeks, there isn't a great place to put that anywhere in the year. So this is where it landed. This is where I was called to start it on that date. So if you have any questions, leave them in the box below and I'll see what I can answer for you if I catch them. And I hope to see you there. It's going to be a really great time. So thanks for listening and walking through this with me, and have an amazing day. I'll see you soon.